Got something a little different in today's video. We got a Fendt 936. It's just a demo, so it's here for a little bit of time. And I actually ran it yesterday for a couple hours. This isn't our ripper, and it didn't come with the demo, but I was able to rent one, and we're just doing some ripping with it. It's just a 5 shank, but it's working. It's working what we need and want to do and try. I know they make all different sorts of models, but it's what we were able to get our hands on, and I can't complain. So this has like 700 something hours on it. It's just fresh off a leasing program from that dealership up in Canada, across the mountain in the Newport area, on that side of Canada, or that side of Vermont, and then the border right there. They're over there. The dealer that we normally go through is on our side of the mountain, but yeah, so it's from the other dealer. And our neighbor farm, they have 2 Fendts, and it's the same dealership as this, and the dealership's just doing just a demo. It's been to a couple farms, and yeah, we were just said, sure, we'll definitely try it out. And it's definitely a little overwhelming, I guess, when you first get in it, because of how much there is. But after running it for a couple hours, it's actually not too hard to figure out. And it was definitely kind of hard to get everything set up how I wanted, but I had no clue what I was looking at. If you know what you're looking at, it ain't bad at all. But Pierre came, he helped me. We got the guidance set up to actually set it the right width that we wanted, and that was giving me some issues because whoever had it before had an offset in the GPS, and I couldn't get it set up right, and I didn't know that it was offset. I didn't know how to change it either, but he helped me figure that out because he runs these tractors all the time. He works for Hirschby's, the neighbor farm that has them, so he knew a lot more than I did, but he helped me figure it out. And then I actually ended up getting my 3-point hitch arms. I gotta unlock it right here, and then this right here, flick that up, it goes down, flick it down, it goes up. Auto steer hydraulics, you can have go functions here, so it does all the stuff for you. You just have to turn around basically. Right here in the back there's a button and there's a roller. The roller is the sensitivity on how aggressive your slow down and speed up is, and then the button you press, and then right now we're in park, but we press that button, bump it forwards, and like that, and we're going forwards. And now you hold that button, you tap it to the side, it backs up, tap it in, goes forwards. Or you can use this little guy, you press that button, it backs up, it goes forwards. And if you want the third option, you hit it right here. So there's 3 different ways. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 different ways. You can do that, or you just put it in neutral. And the second you get off the seat, park and brake goes on. Or you can do the manual, but you don't need that because you just get out of the seat and it goes into park. But it's pretty cool. It's a little bit of a learning curve. I'm gonna say the heater was the I couldn't figure it out, so I was doing it I was going like through here to do it. I didn't realize you have to like bump this sideways for this fan, and then turn it for the heat, and your radio's right here, the volume, and you bump it. This little knob thing will allow you to work the screens with this and to shift screens side to side and put GPS stuff on here if you want, or vice versa on how you want it. And I'm kind of giving somewhat of a rundown, but I don't know what I'm doing, and there's way better videos on this. But you can change this, and then you would drag that up to here so it changes what these functions do. So like people have seen in other videos, these will run your SV remotes and your 3-point hitch arms, your rear and your front. But driving all day, sounds stupid to say it, but having your hand over here and then having to come back to go forwards and reverse, it's not a big deal at all. But I just set it up to where I run my arms here, I can run my flicking here, or if I want to, this is this control, I can have my reversing right here, and then my 3-point hitch arms. It's either, I think, okay, yeah, it's this, push this forwards, or I pull it back, it lifts it, and then I can hit my buttons right here. So you can run it like that, and you can put a function right here for this, or these ones right here, this little knob, or these ones. So it's just different ways to do it. But, and then you got 540 thousander PTO. I absolutely, and that's why we like the Massies, we absolutely love that. Even on the 8670 and the 84s, you can have a 540 PTO on a 300 something horsepower tractor, and this can also have a 540 PTO, because a lot of farms now, most of the stuff is thousander or large thousander, but we are at that strange size with implement stuff where some of the shit tanks are 540, some of them are thousander. And it's just nice that we have the ability to do both with a tractor like this. That is like one of the biggest reasons, why when we were back in the day getting our first 84, why we went with a Massey compared to other larger tractors, because the Massey / Agco gave the ability to have all the PTO options on such a larger tractor. And I didn't know that was available on this, but it is, and it's very nice. So right now I have it in throttle management, so it does its own throttling, and it throttles up when I drive and it slows down. Has somewhat of an exhaust brake, but it really doesn't do any much that you notice, but it's kind of there. And then I can go into pedal mode to drive it like a car. This thing is pretty nice down the road. Oh, this thing cruises like the Masseys do. And that throttle will come down even more on its own. At least I thought it was. Okay, there we go. Now it's coming down. I thought it goes down the road at like 1200 RPMs, but it might be because it's a little cold. Floats like you're on feathers. That independent front suspension, I've been in the same suspension kind of style with the Deers. They ride really smooth too. This rides really smooth on that part. I really can't say a difference, but the cab floating is definitely really nice. But compared to the R that I drove once when I was grain farming, that thing drove really nice through the field too. But I can't compare the transmissions. This is so much better than IVT, and I will stand to that forever. Agco has it figured out. Even though this is more technology than the 8480s, it's the same transmission concept. It works the same in the controls. There's a little bit more tech behind this because the four-wheel drive is always engaged in this, and it helps you pull you around corners. You never hit the four-wheel drive button, it's always in. You can hit the diff lock button, but that's about all you get to do. But you don't even notice that you're in four-wheel drive. They have it figured out so well. There's a hydro for the front and for the rear, and it just works amazing. So we're in the field that we actually put the oats on, and we call it behind the school because the old Berkshire school is right over there. But this is our hardest ground field, and the problem I think I'm gonna face is that it's actually gonna be a little too wet to do this. But I'm hoping, because there's so much grass coming back, that it'll give me a good enough ground to be able to do this. So I hit this, drop it down, and I think there's enough moisture where this is gonna want to go in the ground right away, but I doubt it, and it looks like it's not going in the ground right away. Those wheels aren't spinning, but it's going down. It's struggling. Yeah, I figured this is, oh! Alright, it went down. And yes, it's doing exactly what I thought. Struggling to go in. That one side is, yeah, it's just really hard ground. We got a little section done here. Kyle ended up stopping in, so he was just checking out how this demo was going. Between the shanks, you can see it lifting the ground like anyone else that's ever shown a ripper has shown. doing the headland here, and now you guys can see that ground lift. See that coming right up? It's actually stopping this track. It's a little slimy out, so I'm not surprised, but so I just switched fields. I did a half section of that field. We're kind of doing halves of fields just because it's the first time and we can compare. And yes, there's plenty of study that knows it works, but it's our land, and we want to be able to see a clear difference of this year and next year. So that's why we're doing it like this, to kind of compare the ripping to never being ripped. Pulled my camera out of the housing, maybe it'll last better. Still got 60% battery, but it might sound different. But the reason I really want to rip this is because when we were combining it, so I'm gonna lift it up, it was doing like 200 bushel corn in a lot of sections, and then all of a sudden it would drop down. So I'm hoping maybe this will make a little bit of a difference. Not like it's gonna hurt. Being able to skip rows like you just saw, it really helps with not having a wide machine, so that way I don't have to back up and everything. I don't do it all the time, but it is definitely nice. I can just keep rolling quick and go to the next one and then just fill in as I go. So I got 3 passes there done. I just felt it right there, so I hit a hard pin. Anyone that thinks those little discs on the front don't do anything, they do. I have one disc off because if the bearing blew, and it's not really a big deal in the fields that don't have corn stalks, but in this field it makes the world of a difference. And that chime you hear, it sounds like an airplane chime. That's when your auto steer kicks out, because I hit the steering wheel. So we have been messing around with this. This is like service and stuff. You see hydraulic level, air filter status, oil change. There's a bunch more, but I don't want to mess with it too much, but there's a lot. Anything that any normal new tractor has. But since you're in here, you start pressing buttons. Little airplane chime. Just tap this to the side. Cruise control, adjust your dial right here, and then this thing will pull this ripper crazy fast, but I don't want to. Where was I? Here, out, get out of there. Watch this. See the mirrors? You can dodge this thing and tow mirrors engaged. I put those back in, and this thing does have nice lights. It is, well, pitch black out. No more sun. And visibility is no issues. Can't see the ground really move as good at night anymore, but during the day, you could just watch it lift between the shanks and in front of it a little bit. On the real hard ground, right in front of it, you could see it.